This was actually a race course from 1913 to 1916.
Barry White's got a plan.
It's kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime things to meet a legendary race car driver.
Ask a racing legend.
He's probably trying to sell it to me afterwards.
If the shop can rebuild one of his race cars.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Get the family involved.
We can get in there and do it just the same as the guys.
And watch it fall apart.
I know what to do.
He's going to show you what to do. Oh, don't start with me.
Will this stock car be a goer?
It's turning into a nightmare. I don't need a nightmare.
Or a goner?
8,600. Sold.
How to make a buck. The Barry White way.
Just rip that out of there.
Find a wreck.
That's exactly what we're looking for. You sleeping underneath there?
Get the right people.
Jen, do something.
What do you want me to do?
It'll work.
The right parts.
Easy, 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 easy.
And go to work.
Bring it on.
Then hope
It's flawless.
someone wants to buy it.
Let your money bring you happiness.
That's how you get from wrecks to riches. At prestige automobile shows across America, Barry White has a reputation for making prize-winning hot rods. His speed shop in Corona, California is always in top gear. And Barry runs a tight ship.
Would you just be nice?
No.
It's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye, isn't it?
But right now, he's loaded himself up with even more work. As well as his normal clients, he's committed to turning 10 old wrecks into auction draw cards in as many months.
19, roundabout at 20.
Bottom line is we don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to go with every available person we can round up to help us.
21,000, 21,000, 21,000. I've got 20 offers.
For his next date, the McCormick Auto Auction at Palm Springs, he has just 3 weeks.
Yeah, I have no clue as to what Palm Springs is going to bring.
With a week less than the normal 4, Barry needs to find some shortcuts.
We talked about a Marauder, 60s Marauder.
He's found what looks to be a clean 64 Mercury Marauder, ideal for Barry's secret plan.
It's not something that's real common. I don't think too many people kept them around very long, so it's pretty much a looking for hen's teeth.
Ford Mercurys became popular in the early 60s. 1964 models were marketed as 4,000 pounds of pure American decadence. The sporty 2-door fastback Marauder came with a choice of 6 engines. The biggest, a 427 V8.
Hi, I'm Chris. This is Tony.
Barry sent his designer Chris Brown and paint and body guru Tony Carrera to check out the rare Marauder.
There we are. Okay. What do we got?
I think it's something we may not have to strip to bare metal like we've had to do in the past.
It needs to be in good shape because they can't afford costly time to cut out rust.
How's it look?
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Tony found a little spot on the bottom of the rocker on the passenger side that needs a little work, but it looks pretty solid.
What's Tony think of it?
The only thing I see wrong with the car is the rocker panel.
If it's savable, let's just do it.
All right, good deal. Bye.
Well, looks like we're proud owners of a new Marauder.
Chris and Tony have no idea what Barry is planning.
I'm just glad we found one that was nice and solid, that, you know, that's a good car to start with.
Okay, let's pay the man. Let's get out of here. Thanks, Trevor.
Take care of that.
Looks good.
Deal done. And first hit on the spendometer, $3,000.
What do you think, Tony?
Rust-free, block it, paint it.
Or the gym?
Time for Barry to reveal his secret plan. He takes Tony for a run down a nearby street that's got some cool stock car history. He remembers races on his hometown track called the Corona Circle.
This was actually a race course from 1913 to 1960, and apparently they quit racing the cars around the circle in 1960 because they had apparently had a big race and there was 3 fatalities in the race.
Barry wants to build a race car.
Who is your favorite race car driver?
Well, Parnelli to me is a modern day hero.
Parnelli Jones?
Yeah.
He's awesome. That guy's accomplished so much in his lifetime. It's amazing.
He wants to build a stock car to emulate the Marauder raced by the legendary Parnelli Jones.
Parnelli did so many different things. I mean, he didn't just drive Indy cars or he didn't just drive a off-road car. I mean, this guy did everything except boats.
To build a street-legal take on Parnelli's Marauder, Barry wants permission from the man himself.
So you okay if we reproduce the car and kind of do the paint scheme and the number and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
We'd be honored for you to let us do it.
Can't wait to see it.
Barry wants to build his famous number 15 Marauder.
Oh, I have a few photos of the car, and maybe you can see.
Okay, yeah, just get
some of them, get an idea.
Yeah. So from this picture, it looks like the dash was in it, and then the roll cage. We're taking an old beat-up car, and then to redo the whole car, we're going through suspension and upgrading everything to today's standards. But after seeing your collection and meeting you and everything, I don't know, I'm kind of, I don't know how you feel about it,
Yeah, it
Chris.
seems like it needs to be a faithful reproduction.
Yeah,
of the
I almost
original,
want to now, like, we can't do that to the, you know, because it really means something. It's really cool.
You're probably trying to sell it to me afterwards.
It was a really cool experience. I mean, it's kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime things to meet a legendary race car driver.
Yeah, that was a real thrill to meet Parnelli, and what a wealth of knowledge and just stories and
All right.
Thank you, Parnelli. It's been great meeting you.
With Parnelli's blessing, the team can go to work.
I don't think the body and paint parts can take that long. I think mostly it's going to be all fabrication. You know, we got some fabrication that has to be done before it goes to the body shop.
Which is just as well. Barry's regular team is tied up on customers' cars, so some of the office staff are pitching in.
At the moment, we don't have any choice. Well, it's kind of all hands on deck on this thing. We got to get it done. We got to get it out here. And the other guys are working on another project right now that they got to get done at the same time. So here we are.
They have a week to strip it and paint it. And then only another 2 weeks before Parnelli will sign off on it and it heads to auction.
Woof, that was hard, man. Checking that jackup's tough work.
Yeah, the hardest part of the whole thing.
It's like talking on the phone.
Yeah.
We switched positions. You got to take something out.
Yeah. That was fun.
All right, here we go. 25,000. 15 fine. Said not today. He's in a 22. 22 my market of 80 down 22,000.
Of all the auction deadlines Barry White has had to meet, this is the toughest. He has less than 3 weeks to transform this 64 Mercury Marauder into a street-legal stock car. But this will be no ordinary stock car. It will be a modern-day version of the great Parnelli Jones number 15. Designer Chris Brown only has a few images to work off, so he's turning to another race car guru.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Willie Straup really comes through for us and helps us out with the colors on this car. Sounds like he's got the paint mix and everything for the original car, which simplifies our job a bunch. And it'll be cool to talk to somebody that knows a lot of the details of the cars. I'm hoping that he's got quite a few photos that he can help us out with.
Parnelli drove for Bill Straup Racing, and Bill's son is still in the performance business.
There's two different styles here. Primarily, they're both the same, except on this particular photo, we have a little red protruding up into the hood. Mm-hmm. This car basically was a car that Parnelli drove at Pikes Peak.
We won Pikes Peak a couple of times, won the Stock Car Championship in '64, and it was a great car.
Parnelli was a very versatile driver. He was good on dirt, good on asphalt, sports cars, sprint cars, midgets, off-road.
The checkered flag is out, and Parnelli Jones wins the race.
He proved to be very adaptable in whatever he drove and got into.
And so is Barry White. As well as the Parnelli stock car, he has regular paying clients to look after.
We have this car to finish, and then a T that's a restoration of a car the guy had since he was 15. So we have that to finish as well.
Lucky for Barry, the Marauder's body is in good shape.
Best we can tell, the trim on the outside of the car was either removed or painted over.
Chris can now faithfully replicate Parnelli's 3-tone race car thanks to Willie Strop. Cost to date for wreck and body work, $5,000 and 50 hours. Three separate colors take 3 times as long as a normal job. They'll need to make up time.
I keep forgetting this is supposed to be a race car, and I think that the results will be fine. You know, it'll be a lot better than any race car out there, because most race cars don't really have that good of a paint job.
The 3-tone paint job pushes the spendometer to $10,000 and 80 work hours. The tricolors are complete in triple time.
Steam clean with cleavage.
Stop it. I guess it's not a fashion show, is it?
No, I need to accessorize.
With his regular team on other cars, Barry's wife, Becky, is going to clean up the newly painted body.
You don't need it. It's not a fashion show. You're steam cleaning. You said you wanted to do it. You get to do it.
The Michelin Man outfit, yeah, that was attractive. They tried to get me to wear it the rest of the time I'm working on the car, but I said no.
Pretty strenuous. Yeah, I just got to knock the dust and the dirt off of it.
Just like home, when it comes to clean, there's no match for Becky.
She did a good job. It looks good. Wiped it all down. It's a dirty job. It's a crappy job.
Barry can only spare 2 of his regular team, Brandon and Adam. The rest is up to Chris and the family.
We need to take it all apart. We need to put it back together.
I don't know what to do.
He's going to show you what to do. Do what he does on the other side. Oh, don't start with me. Thank you.
This is a pit team the great Parnelli Jones would like, working through the night and racing to see who can dismantle their end first.
Oh, you're not done. Ours has to come apart, and we're almost done.
Here, hold on, Barry.
Keep going, we're gonna win.
Oh, it was fun. We had a great time. I enjoy getting in and getting my hands dirty and everything.
With the car completely stripped, it's time to work out what parts can be kept and what new parts they'll need. And it comes down to Chris to find them.
Hey, Ray.
And Chris is learning Marauder parts are hard to find.
Yeah, I can't wait that one. I got one more place to try tomorrow.
With a tight deadline, they need stuff fast. Barry and his family will soon be ready for assembly. When it comes to the running gear, Barry wants to stick with traditional steel wheels. But these days, no one makes them big enough to fit modern disc brakes.
We can't get steel wheels that are, you know, bigger, like 19s or 20s. We now have to come up with a billet wheel that looks like a steel wheel, just so we can get the size that we want.
All the heat's on Chris right now.
What are we doing about all the stainless and chrome?
We kind of need to get it over to the stainless and chrome places.
Can they get it done in a week?
We'll find out. Hey, Barry, How fast can we get Victor to do that?
Is it all apart?
We got to pull it apart.
Gotta have it apart before you can take it over there and find out.
Guess we'll find out when we tear it apart.
Who's taking it apart?
I'll tear it apart tonight when I get done doing other stuff.
Chris isn't going to get much sleep, with less than 2 weeks to auction. Barry White knows he has to come up with something out of the box to get the big bucks at his next auction.
Arrows, Chevelles.
10 days till the Palm Springs auto auction, and Barry is racing to recreate a famous Mercury Marauder stock car, driven by legendary racer Parnelli Jones.
I was pretty tough on equipment back then, and I had a lot of desire and will to win. Wasn't the smartest race driver in the world by any means. I don't know, it's just one of the past cars that I've been fortunate to drive and win.
I'd like to make it a modern interpretation of that car. I'd like to keep the numbers, the Mercury sponsor on the back, the paint scheme, but I think mechanically, I'd like to step it up a notch. I want to hold true to what it is, but I want to stay true to what we're doing as well.
But there's trouble brewing at Barry's speed shop.
Oh, I got us some parts.
The boss needs to spend time on clients' cars.
Fuel sender, garnish molding to dash. It's a lot of stuff packed in this box.
And that leaves Chris to make sure the critical parts arrive on time.
Cool. Like we can actually get something done today.
Hey, where's this part? It's over there in the corner. Okay, great. Show me.
Tony's not used to having Chris in charge.
Everything going okay?
What's wrong, Tony?
In order to put this piece of rubber in, I gotta take this window out, this thing to come out. Solution is we're just trimming this rubber on the inside. We're supposed to go in that groove, and we'll glue it in. Because most new cars, the rubber is glued in anyways.
With just over a week left, Barry's daughter is making sure everyone knows the countdown for this classic stock car racer.
Excellent. Come on back to me.
Old NASCAR interests me because they were more stock cars than they are today. You know, you got a huge hulk of metal like a Mercury Marauder and you're trying to take it around the track, you know. It's more, you know, old school than it is anything today.
It's gonna be exciting. I hope we're up for the challenge here. Have Mr. Jones walk through this door and sees this car, and hopefully he likes it.
But there won't be much to see if Chris can't source all the right parts.
No one will be back. There's a lot of pressure on this car. For whatever reason, this is the shortest build that we've done so far, and so it's a little insane.
Most of the parts on the wreck need to be replaced with new ones.
Big empty box.
You can see the top there, the tint's just turned totally brown, and it's got a windshield wiper mark on the passenger side.
But Chris has an idea that might solve his parts dilemma.
I dug up some photos of my dad's Galaxy. Working on that for a little while, I kind of remembered a few things about the car, and also knowing that they shared some of the same styling, at least from the belt line up. All the glass and all the window rubbers and all that stuff should be the same on both cars.
The team is hoping a Galaxy windshield will work, but Becky's finding out no one believes them.
The windshield. I just need to know this guy's asking the same questions that the other gal did at the other place. You know, if it's a super deluxe or...
There's no such thing as
He asked me what color the car was. I says, what difference does it make what color the car is? Do you have the windshield or not?
Just tell him Galaxy 500.
I did. He's wanting to...
I'll talk to him.
Okay. Line.
He's not on
He's
the phone.
gone. He left. Okay, I'll go call him again then.
There's no such thing as a super deluxe Galaxy. If you make windshields, please learn this.
But some of the original parts can be salvaged and put back in, like the steering arms.
Still good. This car only had, I think, 40,000 miles on it. There's really nothing wrong with any of it. Bring it your way a little bit. Perfect. A little more. Come on. Come on. That's right.
And the original diff only needed a facelift.
This is a 9-inch Ford already. We just cleaned it all up, painted it, and you know, put new gear set in it, and we'll be good to go.
But when it comes to stopping, there's no substitute for modern technology.
This has got 4-wheel disc brakes, which is way more efficient, and they stay cooler and they stop better. Whereas back then they would have had drum brakes. They probably would have drilled holes through the drums in order to cool down the drum brakes.
Barry's super muscle car philosophy combines the best of the old with the new.
This is a proportioning valve. You can actually adjust the brake bias on the back. You can put on more brake or less brake in the rear of the car.
Variable brakes are vital on the racetrack. The anti-lock brake system with bias adjustment cost $5,000, revving the spendometer to 15,000. And they've put in 120 hours. T-minus 5.5 days and counting.
If we get the motor Saturday, we'll have the car ready to have the engine set in, and we'll put it in at noon. We'll put the exhaust in. We should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Well, they should be, if only Chris had procured the gearbox.
Where's the transmission?
I'll give him a call.
We need to get that as well.
Where'd all the Marauder parts
Barry's
go?
absence has really tested Chris. Chris's juggling skills are testing Barry.
It's not that he's not working hard, he's just not organized or whatever his deal is.
Hey, Doug, this is Chris at Barry Speed Shop. Need some questions answered on some parts.
You know, it's not a real complicated car. We should have been able to have these parts here.
Do you know when he's going to be back?
This should not be this difficult.
Call him back then. Thank you.
Barry's realizing if they are to make the auction, the team needs him back.
This is turning into a nightmare. I don't need a nightmare.
72 grand, did I say? 73, 72.
Barry White has earned himself quite a reputation at some of America's top auto auctions.
75, got it, $76,000.
His formula of making super muscle cars out of 60s muscle car wrecks is paying solid dividends.
It's that car that sticks with you forever. And that's the car that seems like people come in and want to resurrect.
Show the car, $56,000.
If an auction day goes well, Barry can make 30 grand profit. On the surface, they look like the originals, but they're equipped with the latest auto tech.
What we're doing is taking a car that was basically discarded. We now have the technology to make this car what they would have done had they been able to do what we're doing and make it as high-end and make it a super muscle car.
Barry normally has a month to flip each wreck. On his latest build, he has only 3 weeks. But he's hoping it's all he needs to build the kind of stock car made famous by Parnelli Jones and the Bill Strop racing team.
I actually loved, driving that particular car because I was able to make it handle well with my knowledge along with Bill Strop's, and we seem to have them covered.
Barry's version will have way more power from a custom-made engine,
If we could get...
newly built, but never tested.
No, they didn't run it.
They didn't run it?
They haven't got a chance to run it. Chris gave them no time to run it.
If the thing doesn't fire, guess who'll get the blame?
That's a 460. Edelbrock heads and intake and all that, so it's going to be pretty stout. I think it's going to definitely make some serious power. Where's the flywheel bolts?
Don't have any.
Are you serious? I specifically asked him 5 times. There you go, shut up.
Perfect.
Not right.
Chris is off the
Let's see
hook.
that one.
I just have to grind it, like, really.
No, that's not the right mount.
Now, he's back on it.
He ordered, had sent out. There's nothing to bolt the bottom one in.
The engine mounts don't seem to be
Both
right.
exactly the same.
Wait a minute, these are the same?
Yep, they're both the same.
They're both the same mount?
Mm-hmm. Let's see if these have anything to do with it. There's no directions or instructions or anything. This is supposedly for the Transcross, remember, is what Chris said. But we're talking about Chris here. These motor mounts that Chris got us from somewhere, supposedly adapt the 460 block to this chassis, and they're the wrong ones.
Parts suppliers are closed for the weekend, and Barry can't afford to wait until Monday. This stock car engine is anything but stock. If they can get the mounts right,
we can't stop now.
it should match the engine Parnelli drove to victory.
There you go. Keep going. Keep going.
Barry's fabricator has saved the day.
To those motor mounts, and let's put them on this block.
Oh, okay.
He's customized the mounts so the new engine can fit the old chassis.
The top ones line up. No, the top ones line up. I mean, over here.
Crisis averted.
Those chains?
The John Barretton transmission cost $10,000, pushing the spendometer up to 25 grand and 150 hours.
Excellent. Good job.
That's big.
It's probably going to be, you know, pretty close to as good as they had it in the 60s when they ran it in NASCAR. You're short.
When they built Parnelli's original car, finding parts was easy. 40 years later, Chris is finding it's a nightmare.
I got the list right here.
Do we have all the rubber and the moldings for this glass, or do I need to buy them too?
Windshield seal, yes, I do have that.
It did come in?
Yes.
You're sure?
It's checked off, so we have it.
Okay, so,
It's a big rubber thing.
okay, and that's all we need.
Of course, can't guarantee that the windshield seal fits, but I do have it.
But Chris's plan to use a Galaxy windshield and rubber has paid off.
The wire's got to go inside. Be a miracle if it fits. I can't believe it. Something went right. Okay, I'm trying to find out which one's going.
There we go.
The speed shop wants to recapture Parnelli's success with a perfect replica paint job.
Since there really is no fonts for what was on the car, since all that was done by hand back in those days, I came up with a couple different solutions for the Mercury and what have you.
Todd, the graphics guy, has been busy on his computer.
Yeah, that's a Marauder script, so that one's gonna have to be hand-drawn. The other stuff, we could probably get away with just generic fonts.
Why don't you just send that to me? I'll take the measurements right now.
Back then, they crafted the signage by hand. Now, it's stick-on decals.
This car's definitely gonna be different than any of the other ones. It's gonna take it from a car that's painted red, white, and blue and actually tie it all together and look like a NASCAR.
But there's one decal Barry's really counting on.
If we can get him to sign the car somewhere or something, that'd be kind of cool. If he is cool with it, we'll see. We'll find out when he's there.
The decals cost $2,000, revving the spendometer to 27 big ones and 180 work hours. With less than a week to auction, they've got more parts problems.
This engine was never intended for this car. Nobody makes anything, nothing fits. Nobody wants to commit to saying it will or won't.
They need a manifold to connect the new engine to the new exhaust. And they're resorting to an old truck engine part.
I can't tell if the front's on or not.
Like truck manifolds or something. They're not horrible. They won't kill the power too much. They'll actually be a little more reliable. They're cast steel, so they'll be good. I mean, it's still good. We can get the exhaust done and get the thing finished. That's the key.
The manifolds will connect up to a full-blown, race-proven exhaust system. Well, almost.
We don't have the pieces to make the pipe match up to the exhaust manifolds. So now we got our tubing bender and swedger and expander, and we're out here trying to make a flared piece to match up to the exhaust manifold. Who's the man now, huh?
I am.
Who?
Problem solved, and the old manifolds are sandblasted back to new.
Motor back up.
Pretty soon, the Mercury Marauder will be ready to run. Chris is now leaving nothing to chance. He's checking the custom wheels for size before paint. 19's on the front.
Spacer on it, and yeah.
We'll be fine with the spacer.
Fits like a glove. and 20s on the rear.
What's the backspace on those, Chris?
It says 5.5. What'd they make them?
4 1/4.
Too big.
Wasn't us.
Nope.
There's not enough clearance.
Apparently didn't write it down.
Yeah.
So now I gotta take them, dismount the tires, and take them back over to the wheel company, have them cut the centers out. Ow! Oh, just whacked myself in the head. Weld them back in another pair of hoops, take them back over to the tire guy. But I guess that's pretty much par for the course on this car.
The Palm Springs auction is 4 days away, and Barry is racing to finish a street-legal stock car. And before it goes under the hammer, Barry wants the approval from his inspiration, Parnelli Jones.
You're probably trying to sell it to me afterwards.
All right, I got wheels. Let's see if they fit.
But before the legendary racer pays a visit,
I think we'll be all
there's
right.
still some
Get the
work to
tires
do.
on. Got a little bit of clearance there, got a little bit of clearance back here. All right, that'll work.
It took 2 goes, but the wheels are ready for paint, sprayed to look like the original steel stock car wheels. Total cost, $6,000, pushing the spendometer to 33 grand and 220 work hours.
Back.
You run on the belt, huh?
Yes.
T-minus 3 days,
to running
and the crew is on the final
Yeah, I
straight.
gotta get new boots.
Oh, stop. There's something wrong.
Is the battery hooked to the correct side?
In
On
the
new-
rush,
on the,
this engine
solenoid?
wasn't being
These
tested
cables
before
might be on the
delivery.
wrong side.
Is the battery supposed to be hooked to this side? On the start side?
So let's turn it off and swap them and see.
Barry's sure it's something simple.
We got nothing now. That big wire, that needs to be on the battery side.
The big red one?
Yeah. Hopefully it's what it is, the battery. We had to cross the cables on the solenoid, but hopefully now it's just the battery.
Up and running, but not for long.
I didn't do anything. Where's it leaking at? Oh, fitted. You want to jack it up, Brandon?
A loose fuel line connector is the culprit.
Short jack stand. Hang on a second, Brandon.
Hey, Chris, I thought you went around the whole car last night tightening it up.
Guess I missed one.
You think?
Yeah, by about 5 turns. No more leaks?
I don't see any.
It's making all the right sounds, but the 460 just isn't happy idling. Finally, it's purring like a big cat and ready to pounce. Grand total, $34,000 and 280 hours.
It's pretty amazing what you can do to something in 2 weeks. And it came out good. It's cool.
Yeah, looks like we got about 10 hours left till Parnelli gets here. We got the car running. I can't wait to see what Parnelli says about it. We're looking forward to his visit tomorrow. And just see how he compares this to his old one.
Who'd have thought they'd pull this off in just 3 weeks? It was their biggest challenge yet, building this street-legal stock car from a tired old Marauder in record time.
We came through again, built a super muscle car, replica race car, and it's a little loud. It's kind of like a race car inside. And it's got a whole bunch of horsepower, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun to drive.
And what better place first up? Just where Barry came up with the stock car idea, the one-time Corona Circle racetrack.
It doesn't get any better than this. It's all great. Everything's working good.
You know, I had a struggle with the parts and all that stuff, but we managed to overcome everything, and we got a complete car now. This thing came out, you know, the way I drew it. We actually ended up going with a little bit bigger wheel, and I think the car is better for it.
Tomorrow, the inspiration for this car will be here at the speed shop to check it out. Rather than the auction, Parnelli's assessment will be the biggest test. This is definitely a first for the speed shop.
Well, I thought I'd show you guys what we started out with on this Marauder.
It's our Compton special. How many horsepower do you figure that engine made back then?
I reckon it was probably around 500.
Both
It's
Parnelli
amazing
and
how
Willie Strop have no idea what to expect.
And you have
Barry
stick
has
shift.
no idea what they'll make of his work.
Boy, there it is.
Keep in mind, this is our interpretation.
Yeah.
We changed the wheels, we changed some things around a little bit.
Yeah.
We did this car in 2.5 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty impressive for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it
Thank
is.
you. The problem with the Marauder is you can't buy parts.
Yeah.
No.
You can't hardly
Well, I tell you, it's a pretty impressive modern retrofit
Thank you.
of our original car.
Thank you.
I mean, it's pretty.
Thank you. You want to start it up?
Start this thing for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like the speed shop's done good. All it needs is the final touch.
Would you mind if we put your name on the car?
No, that's fine.
I wanted you to look at it before you kind of gave us the okay.
I better make sure it's straight now. The heat's on.
Now for Barry and his team,
Show them where you want it, Chris.
this is the ultimate seal of approval.
There you go.
Yeah, just right there on the board.
It's enough to erase all the angst and anguish that came with making the deadline.
Cool. That's awesome.
The first test is over. Soon they'll discover who's prepared to pay for it. It's D-Day at Palm Springs, and Barry is here with his stock car racer. The McCormick Auto Auction draws crowds from all over.
McCormick puts on a hell of an auction. It's just cool. It's a big tent and plenty of places to sit and bid, and we got some really nice cars here. The quality of cars here is comparable to anything.
It's make or break for those who put their machines under the hammer. And there's plenty of impressive hardware.
Started, right? Tons of power.
Is this how many asses he kicked?
I think that's how many Vipers he's beat. That looks like a little Viper picture.
But there's nothing here quite as unique as this.
Just the quality of workmanship, how the colors all kind of came together, the engine, the attention to detail.
It's a Mercury, you know, and they're rare, very rare. They see a lot of Chevys and some Fords, but you very seldom see a Mercury race car like that. And Parnelli Jones's name's on the side of it.
It's living proof that these cars shouldn't have been smashed and treated the way they were so many years ago.
You know, engineering-wise, cosmetically, it's just an incredible car. It really is spectacular.
Yeah, I'm going to bid on it. I'll see what happens.
Well, we know there's money out there because the GT went through for 170 something, I think. So there's some money out there.
It's kind of exciting to see how many people are very interested in the car. I have a really good feeling.
Less than a month ago, this Parnelli Jones stock car was just an idea.
Who was your favorite race car driver?
Well, Parnelli to me is a modern-day hero.
But Barry wanted the blessing of the legend himself.
Reproduce the car and kind of do this paint scheme and the number and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Barry mustered all the help he could get.
I don't know what to do.
He's going to show you what to do.
With only a 3-week deadline, it was touch and go.
Looks like you guys made a hell of a mess.
And Mercury Marauder parts proved impossible to find.
I got one more place to try tomorrow.
Hey, where's this part? It's over there in the corner. Okay, great.
Are you serious? I specifically asked him 5 times.
There's no such thing as a Super Deluxe Galaxy.
But in the 11th hour, it came together. And it got the ultimate seal of approval.
All right. 9, here we go, ought to be 40,000. And 20, we're going. 20, bounded down, 20, bounded down.
Crunch time. Barry's up soon.
Down 7, 5, got it. 27, bounded down 30.
This restored Mustang should reveal if there's money here today.
20, bounded down 30, 30, 30, 20, bounded down 30,000. You want in. 20, bounded down 5, got it. Now 30, 30, bounded down 30, got it. Now
there's no shortage of bidders, but Barry needs to do better than this.
31, 31, I got it. Now 5, 31, bounded down 31, 5, Dan. We selling the car? Reserves off. 32.5, 38,000, 33.5, now 34,000, 34,500, hot 4.5, sold, $34,000.
The Mustang fetches 34 grand.
Now remember we said you're going to be on TV? The reason why is because of an automobile.
Barry needs at least that to break even.
Now it's going to find.
Ladies and gentlemen, make a note, it is not stock.
Most of the cars been going through have been pretty, regular cars, nice cars, but just the average cars in the $20-some thousand range. So, hard to tell. Don't know. That's the beauty of the whole thing. You never know until you're there.
40 down 30,000. 30 down.
The Marauder starts with a $25,000 bid.
20 down 23,000. 20 down 24, 25. $25,000. 20 down reserves off. $26,000 down 7.
Straight away, 3 bidders are vying for this piece of history.
Got it. 29. No, got it here. 29.5. Now 30. 30 down 30 now 1.
No one's backing down just yet. Good news for Barry.
30 down 30 now 1. 30 down 36,000. 36 down 7 down 37 now 8. 38,000 down 39. 30 down 40,000. 41.
Well over 34. Barry's in the money. It's up to 43. Better than Barry expected.
$43,000 going once, going twice. Last call and I sold the car.
In less than 3 minutes. That's got to be Barry's quickest auction yet.
The way the whole car looks, very racy looking. Nice looking car, well presented.
Excellent. Nah, we never put it on fire. That's awesome.
The workmanship on the car and the quality of the car and the way it was presented made it a very good buy.
I was hoping 30 plus, and we went to over 40, so that's even better.
For this guy, the Marauder was too good to pass up.
Yeah, I think it was fair price. Not too high, not too low. It just takes 2 bidders, and there's 2 of them there, so you kind of either got to grin and bear it or you get out.
He shelled out $43,000 for a street-legal stock car and a modern take on a piece of history.
They come up with this car and they reminisce about when Parnelli did drive this kind of car back then. And they all have the same respect and they know Parnelli's history, so I guess I'm not the only Parnelli fan out there.
Parnelli being out there and seeing it, and Willie, and it doesn't get any better than that.
Just glad to be a part of this thing. Kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime things. You meet a legendary race car driver.